Don't see it. Don't see it.
Hang on.
Oh yeah. Okay, now I see it.
Use Audacity.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Mamluks. My name is Sim. Along with me are my co-hosts, Mahin and returning guest, Humam, a samurai sword himself. Please help us out on patreon.com/the Mad Mamluks. Every little bit helps, and if you are so inclined, make sure you comment in the comment section below and like and subscribe on the show. Humam, welcome back.
Sir. Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Humam is now a bona fide podcaster.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's weird to hear that. It's good. I'm off to a start. It's a little different than I thought.
What do you think it would be? In what way?
I thought it would be like much simpler than it is. You know what I mean? Like there were some things that would happen during an episode that I wouldn't anticipate, and I'd have to go back and edit it, and I'm just like, dang, that sucks. That's really annoying.
Like, can you give us an example?
So like if like a guest has to go to like the bathroom, for example,
Yeah.
and I'll just be sitting there for like 5 minutes, like just staring at the camera, and then they come back. So yeah, when I actually download the file, I'm like, I have to edit that out. It looks dumb.
Yeah, so that's what. Now, these kind of things provide a whole lot of experience in terms of how your mental gears kind of work, right? So, a good way to learn a little bit about this is from podcasters who just speak directly to the listener, like Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast, where he talks about the weekend's football games and all kinds of different stuff that happened over the weekend, right? That's a really fun show, and Bill Burr's like extremely talented, so you're learning from the best, right? And you also learn how to kind of move back into this role of, engaging with someone who's just sitting across the table from you, right? Or on a Zoom conference. Having that the ability to switch back and forth in that sense, that's a talent, and people don't understand that when they're listening. They don't understand how that works until they experience it, until they're in the lion's den where they're live or they're in front of a guest who is very intelligent, and you have to be able to hold your own in front of them. There's a lot of different layers that are operating on top of just the ability just to switch back and forth in a conversation, where you're speaking to someone and switching back to speaking to your audience while you're
I haven't done that
while
yet.
while you're guest. So no, but when I'm listening to a lot of the podcasts now, I don't listen to it from a frame of entertainment. It's more of what can I pull from this podcaster that I can integrate into my own presentation, and think along that lines as podcasters, as people who are even wanting to get into podcasting. Think along the lines, not your time is now not with the rest of the audiences that are having a great time engaging or listening to their favorite podcast. Now you are in the lion's den, and you have to pick up all the best modes of communication from the best podcasters out there.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because literally as I'm recording, I didn't even consider that. Like I didn't consider.
You just wait, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, should I talk? No, like I didn't even get that thought. I was just like, I'll edit this out.
It's happened a few times for me too. Like but it's usually a quick thing where or it's for my end. Like my kids are like making ruckus, and I gotta go get up.
Yeah.
And like tell them like, hey, get out of here, right? We don't, where I record, it's there's no soundproofing. But what Sim was talking about, like the thing, the art of monologue. That's something I'm working on too. So I started another channel. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
A third channel?
I have a third channel.
Oh, that's right. You told me you're putting it on Red Circle.
Yeah, I'm using Red Circle. Shout out, thanks for that recommendation. So my third channel is strictly college football history. It's called the College Football History Podcast.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got like 2 or 3 episodes out. I try to drop a weekly. That's just monologue. That's just me reviewing an old game from like the 90s.
How do you like Red Circle?
So far, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
free, right?
It's free, and the crazy thing, it has unlimited bandwidth.
I am concerned though. Like I'm a little paranoid that like eventually it's gonna screw me.
Oh, like eventually they start charging?
Something like that, and then
Yeah.
Libsyn's gonna have still has a better product. It's more established.
True.
So that's why I haven't moved off Libsyn. It's only
Yeah.
$20 a month. I mean, like I blow that on like crepes from like Mountain Dip.
Can't you just transfer? Can't you just transfer it though?
I think you can, but like I'm just concerned about going back. I hate, like I'm super lazy about back end stuff like this. Super lazy. Like I had my logo fixed last week, and I haven't like even looked. I told the dude I would like look through it and like it's just a color scheme, right? Nothing crazy, but I was gonna like upload it to the different platforms. Yeah, you know what? It's just easier to stay at home and like watch YouTube.
So does the bandwidth have to do with how long that episode stays on like the service?
What do you
Like,
mean?
So I've noticed something like really annoying. I'll try to go and find like a really old podcast, and it's completely like Apple cuts.
Yeah,
Apple cuts.
Yeah,
Oh,
Apple's-
that's an Apple thing.
That's an Apple thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I thought it was? I thought your host is like, no, we're not storing this anymore. It's
No.
well, you ran out of memory.
You'll find it if you Google it. You'll
Yeah.
find it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you try to go through the podcast app on the iPhone, that thing is
So it's not deleted.
It's no. So
it's
like Spotify, like I don't like Spotify. It's not. I don't like the layout. But I do use Spotify to listen to old Mad Mamluks episodes. Like I actually went back to listen to an old one, like episode 45 today.
Dang.
Oh.
I went back into
Who
history.
wasn't there?
Daniel Hakikachu.
Oh. Why are you obsessed about this guy?
No, 'cause I was just trying to see, because there's this whole picture that floating around this last week about like back when everyone was cool. You see that picture?
No.
On Twitter?
I didn't know you guys back then.
No, you remember the picture?
Oh, yeah. Where they're
shake
eating
up-
together with
Yeah.
with certain scholars
And
and, stuff.
I kind of was like, I was just curious. I was like, I had a few minutes to kill, and I was like, I wonder what that. Completely forgot about that first show because somebody was like saying, "Oh, well, I knew he was a prick back then," based upon
Oh, I
the
know
show.
what you're
Someone was
talking
telling
about.
me that, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, let me go back and listen to this show, and I was like, no, this is it's like a different. It felt like a different universe.
yeah.
This is 2017, man.
2020 is wild, man. Some wild things have happened this year.
Yo, 2020 is insane because the government literally confirmed the existence of aliens, and no one cares. That's something we were begging for. You know, I mean, did you know about the whole Commander Fravor and all
right.
the stuff related to the Tic Tac UFO, and it was like it would have made headline news when we were kids. It would have been sent shockwaves around the world because everyone was talking about
Would have been the headline
UFOs.
for 10 years straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know the hadith about time speeding up towards the end of time?
Right.
It
Yeah.
feels like 2020 was like 10 years, honestly.
2020 feels like a long year, man.
Yeah,
It
dude.
was so long.
It's like my entire life is one chapter and then 2020.
Really?
Yeah, I
Bro,
don't know.
remember the hadiths about the Dajjal when I think he's going to be here for like 3 years, and one of the years is going to be like 40 years, or no, he's going to be here for like 3 months. I can't remember. Someone correct me in the chat. But one of the years is supposed to be like, or one of the months is supposed to be like a year or something like that. And it's supposed to be a year of starvation and stuff like that. And,
Right.
and you're supposed to, basically, it'll be one of those years where all the preppers will be shoving it in your face, like, we were ready for this, for the Antichrist, and you weren't, and you were making fun of us.
Yeah. I
for
remember
prepping.
something like that. I don't remember the exact hadith.
Yeah.
But like time will elongate, and then the Sahaba asked Rasul Sallallahu like, "How are we gonna pray
Yeah.
during that
Yeah,
time?"
because
and he
how
said,
we're gonna-
calculate it.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't remember the exact.
Yeah. But it reminded me of that because sometimes, you get kind of warning signs, and we know about a lot of the minor signs before the Day of Judgment and stuff, and we've talked endlessly about it. I don't know if it was endlessly, but we've talked about it enough to the point that everyone knows that all the minor signs of the Day of Judgment have already occurred, and the most major sign,
Except for one,
except for one,
the bridge,
the bridge to
the major signs.
The bridge to nowhere. Which
That's the Mahdi. So the Mahdi is the last.
Oh
like-
yes. The Mahdi. The Mahdi, the last of the minor signs,
Yeah,
right?
and he's the bridge to all the major signs. Now the
Yes.
scary
And then
thing,
the major signs start happening like fast, right?
dominoes. That's the scary thing. So
Yeah, like a pearls falling off a necklace or something.
So
like that.
Yeah.
the Dajjal isn't a part of the major, so it's like predates the last minor sign, right?
no, he's a major sign.
The Dajjal.
Yeah,
So he's the first, but the Mahdi's a minor sign.
the Mahdi is a minor sign that leads into all the major signs.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. The Mahdi is a minor
So
sign.
the Mahdi's a reaction to the major sign, a reaction to a major sign, right?
It's the
Kinda like-
No,
the interlude, the
Yeah.
introduction to
Yeah,
the major chapters that will lead to the end.
that's crazy, man.
That's crazy. Unless
know-
you're Abu Layth, you don't believe any of that stuff. I love you.
It's
Abu Layth,
convenient,
but
man. Just
you
like
don't.
Oh my god, I was watching his Sunni Defense made a video called like Islam according to Abu Layth.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
amazing. Go on YouTube, search it up. It's like 20 minutes of him just blundering.
You know the good thing about Abu Layth is whenever I've discussed with him is that he always says, "Hey, I'll come on and I'll talk to these people."
Yeah.
And I won't mention anyone's names, but they backed out.
Yeah.
They said, "No, I don't want to talk to him." Well, he's over here. He's ready to talk to you.
Yeah.
My god, there was a part of the video,
know?
bro. It was like the question was like, is anal sex halal? Right? And then he goes like this. He goes, ha 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 ha.
I mean, that is the reaction. I mean, like,
He was like, listen, brother.
He's got the most contagious laugh.
Yeah, it's like according to the school of Medina, when you go in the bedroom,
yeah.
everything
I
is
mean, that's
halal.
true though. Like, that's the thing.
well,
Like,
it's not according to the school of Medina. I don't. It's,
I mean, according to Islam, isn't it? Like, whatever's in the bedroom, you know, like this whole idea of like,
I'm pretty sure anal's haram, bro.
I thought only if you penetrate certain vessels.
yeah, that's the vessel.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh.
It's called the back passage.
Ah, okay.
Come on.
But you know, I'm with Sim. Like, I think Mufti Abu Layth, he gets. I mean, it's easy to make a polemic video where you don't engage him. Anybody can do that. It doesn't take like, you know. I mean,
Well, I feel like it's good to have people on the fringes. You know why? Like, what I heard this from somebody in Minnesota actually, because Minnesota is like majority Salafi, right? So he was like, "Yeah, this is actually a really good thing," and I'm like, "Really?" And he's like, "Well, now when you say something, you're not going to be on the edge." You get what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
when somebody says something that is kind of controversial but not really, like at least they're not Abu Layth. You get what I'm saying? Like he passes the boundary.
No, wait. I think he's still at the edge of the boundary because he still has some kind of, you know, whether it's a minority opinion or not, he's still within the framework. He's still within. He's still utilizing the source material to justify his thing. There's people who are going outside the source material, saying that it's a benefit for us, using the maslaha argument.
Did he question Bukhari though? The
No,
authenticity of it?
he's saying that. I think at least from whatever I read about it was that he says that it's not written in stone as a lot of Muslims make it out to be, as if Bukhari is invincible, and
Right.
that by saying some hadith was in Bukhari that you're shutting down someone's argument. You know, that's at least what I understood. Whoever wants to murder me in the comments, feel free. I could be wrong.
yeah, I don't know. I never like it. That's over my pay grade, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to get him back on. Like, I already told that. So we are planning this UK trip. Mad Mamluks is.
Okay.
Once once I get, once we all get vaccinated, those of us who are going to get vaccinated, I know I am. My wife just got hers yesterday, but so anyway,
There was all these videos about people getting vaccinated and like having like palsy faces.
Bell's palsy, yeah.
Bell's palsy faces and like what's it called? The yelling thing. What's that called? When
Tourette's?
Tourette's.
It's
having
it's
symptoms of
temporary
Tourette's.
though, right?
It's supposed to be temporary,
palsy?
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like half of the face. Like, bro, I looked at it. I'm like,
If that was my wife, I'm gonna make her wear a mask in the house. Yeah, because she's got to take her. She says the most side effects they expect them after the second dose, which is gonna be like next week or in 2 weeks.
see, that's why I'm just gonna wait. I mean, I've already had COVID, so like,
I mean, like but for me, it's like
yeah.
I get to wait. I get to watch what happens to her. Like, it won't be available to me. Like, I'll have her I'll see enough from the reaction, whatever it is. I mean, we get other shots. I don't understand this. Like, people like specifically are anti-COVID vaccine
Right.
versus when they get they got shots for everything else.
Yeah, which is yeah.
And they're like, well, they made it so fast. I'm like, yeah, when corporations have money and corporations are efficient. They can be.
And I mean,
they can push stuff through.
And this pandemic like shut down their money. You know, that's when they're gonna start caring.
Dude, I work for a company that made diagnostic tests for COVID in 4 weeks. Normally, it's an 18-month process.
Dang.
And like I've seen stuff happen that I'm like since I've only been there like 3-4 months, and I'm seeing like double expand. It's just like exploding.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's real when capitalism takes a hit. That's when you know it's real.
Yeah, because these companies, and we made, I mean, our company made 300% of its projected earnings in 2020 because of COVID, right? But it's like you can do it. It's just like, you know, most corporations, they have lazy people and stuff. But when something like this hits, everybody just gets on board and gets efficient and just goes nuts.
Yeah.
But you were talking about going to the UK, right?
Oh, UK, back to the UK, right?
Yeah.
So when we go, UK listeners, I seem like a lot of our UK listeners don't like Mufti Abu Layth. Would you agree with that assessment?
I wholeheartedly, at least from whatever I have received from comments, from listeners, you know, at least even like threats, like if you bring this guy on again, I'll never listen to your show again.
Jeez.
I'm like, fine, go ahead. I mean,
Like-
even if I never bring him on again, just stop right now and don't listen to us anymore because you're not the type of listener I want.
Right.
I feel like
but
they're a little
no.
excessive.
Yeah, this is so childish. I don't care for those type of people.
I guess what I'm saying is like when we go, we're gonna visit them.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we're like, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, one of the things that I've always liked about him was that he asks questions that you were scared to answer, or someone like me or anyone who's studying to whatever level or whatever degree, we're scared to ask. Like, for example, why is who's one of the people who outlined you know, what the beliefs are of, you know, the 20 points of
Aqidah Tahawiyah?
Yeah, Aqidah Tahawiyah. Like, who is that guy to, you know, make these guidelines for what constitutes as Sunni Islam? What makes, you know, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying, well, why is it that he is the sole arbiter of who's considered Sunni or not? You know, and those are some questions that you want to know, and he says it, he asks it, and I'm not saying I agree with him in that respect, but I want to know
what's the epistemology behind that.
Well, yeah, what's the reasoning behind that? Why? How is that argument supported? Because how are you going to give someone that kind of power and right? That his book, Aqidah Tahawiyah, which I first studied from, not directly, but from Riyad al-Haq. He had these tapes from the UK.
Yeah.
That was one of my first tapes that I would listen to when I was young. And I went through all that, and I took careful notes of it, and I really loved that. Even though I wasn't a Salafi oriented back then, I really developed a better appreciation for the other side of the aisle when I was
because Salafis don't because Salafis don't give Tahawiyah the same amount of like credit or respect, for sure.
Or if they teach it, they put their own little twist in it.
Well, they have like I had the Aqidah Tahawiyah from the Salafi Publications PDF. And a binder at home, like printed out, and it's like and there's all these clarifications about like this is what the people of desires use to like justify certain things. Right, kind of these points, but yeah, I mean, I think it's like I think we should be allowed to ask the question.
Yeah,
if you can't ask the question,
sure,
and people are like, well, all right, fine, and it's a free world, and you know, people will like just leave the deen. Then
the problem is his response. I mean, I think it's good that the question's being asked because people that were wondering that can now get an answer, and that's where we come in and we're like, well, this is why. You know what I mean? But his answers. Interesting.
But back to Humam and his podcasting adventures.
Yes.
What else have you come across? Who was your first few guests? Any notable names and stuff that some of our listeners might want to go and check out?
Yeah. So my first guest was one of my training partners. Probably don't know him. But yeah. So he actually is about to start wrestling for Augsburg University. He's like a lifelong wrestler, you know, old school Minnesota boy. So yeah, we talked. He's also doing the same major as me. So, you know, we talked a lot about like exercise science and like weightlifting and gaining weight and, you know, all that jazz.
Yeah.
So that was a good episode. The second one, you guys might know that guest, Hamad al-Masri.
Yeah, I listened to that
From the UK.
No, he's from Minnesota originally, but he lives in Dawah. Qatar. Yeah, he's always on Al Jazeera. Yeah, he's a really good political analyst. He was actually in Egypt when everything was going down. And then he left, I believe, after the Rab'a massacre happened.
Yeah.
And then he went back somehow, and then like they started cracking down on journalists and he was a professor actually.
Is he Ikhwani? Yani?
No, I don't think he is, but he was pro Rab'a.
Pro Rabba. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he aligns to any particular group or not. Like,
No.
he didn't say he did.
Yeah.
But I haven't read anything from him saying that. But he was pro the Rab'a gatherings.
Okay.
And pro Morsi.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's a really good guy.
I really liked your BJ the first episode
Yeah.
because that dude was doing, especially the part where he's talking about crapping in his pants.
Oh yeah, that's real.
Whoa! What happened? Someone did
Yeah.
the nasty?
No, so here's the thing. It's a phenomenon amongst runners. Like, if you run long enough, you poop your pants involuntarily.
I heard like they eat while they're running because sometimes they run out of calories.
Well,
Like-
yeah,
like
you
marathon
carry
runners,
like
I don't
little
know.
energy things with
Yeah,
you.
those
Yeah.
things like David, because you talk about because this guy seemed to like a version like a David Goggins light.
Yeah, well, so Bo is a really knowledgeable guy about this stuff. He actually runs like crazy. He got me into running outside shirtless in the winter. Like, he's the one who.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so now literally whenever I want to go on a run right now in Minnesota, which is freezing cold, take off my shirt. I'm just in shorts. I go in the garage. I start doing some Wim Hof breathing, and I
Yeah.
just go on a run. You could do it.
That's crazy. I mean, I could do it, but someone will call the cops. You're kind of skinny and you have some decent shape.
Yeah.
People will be like, "Hey, put your damn shirt on. We don't care about seeing you."
So he got me into that. He's really knowledgeable on weightlifting as well. He's like a certified personal trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the pooping your pants.
Yeah.
We were talking about ultra runners. I don't know if you've heard of like ultra marathons. So
Isn't that done like super long distances in the desert?
yeah, David Goggins actually just ran 240 miles in 60 hours
Where?
straight.
It's like
It's in Moab, Utah, or something
yeah,
like that.
the Moab 260 or something.
Yeah, he ran 240 miles straight for 60 hours, and then when he was done, there's a video of him crossing the finish line, and he starts doing push-ups, and he's like, "You don't know me, son. You don't know me, son."
Yeah, I was watching an Instagram video of his where he's like saying, "All you people, all you doubters, this is all for you." He's like running and stuff. He's just like,
love it.
all the people who said I can't do it, all of you in the comment section, this is for you.
You know, he has a hole in his heart, and he does all that.
Wow.
He's crazy.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
his motto is like, if it doesn't suck, don't do it.
Yeah, but there's actually a lady from Minnesota. Like, she looks like a soccer mom. She wears like basketball shorts and a big baggy T-shirt.
Oh, she won the one in
She-
Death Valley.
She actually holds the record for the Moab. I don't know about the Death Valley. but
Okay.
yeah, but she's ahead of everybody by like hours.
Right.
Courtney Dahlwater.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
The crazy thing is, she wears like baggy shorts and a long T-shirt. She's just running. I don't know what kind of demons are in that lady.
Yeah, because it's like this whole thing about like, I don't know if like your boy Bo talked about that. I don't kind of, this was a few months back.
Yeah.
But like Goggins talks of this whole thing about when you're like doing stuff like that, it's so much mental. Because he talks about, he did the, you know the whole story with Jesse Itzler, who was the owner
Yes.
of the Atlanta Hawks.
When he had him jump in the frozen lake.
Where he was basically like had the whole moved in for a month, right?
Yeah.
And he was like telling them, "Listen, man, I'm gonna take you places you've never been before." And what that is like not physically, but really mentally. It's gonna be
crazy.
like, you know,
Yeah, I think Goggins spent some time with him. I think he was like
a month. Yeah,
Yeah.
He hired him to
Yeah.
be his personal trainer
And he-
for a month. He moved in.
He'd come to him at 3 a.m. He'd come to his bedside and just be like, "Wake up."
Wow.
He'd wake him up
Let's
at
go.
3 a.m.
He'd be like, "Let's go."
Well, imagine you had that kind of wealth where you can just hire David Goggins to beat your behind
Bro,
all day, every day, so that you can get that laziness out of you. Man,
It's-
that is
And the thing is, Jesse Itzler isn't a lazy guy. himself, right? He already was like fit, doing like triathlete stuff. Right. He was. I mean, he's the owner. He had the that Zico coconut water. He owned them. I think that's one of his companies. Like he's loaded. He's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like he's not someone who's just chilling. He's not like a bum.
Yeah.
Right. And David Goggins took him like to the next level. Like if I hired David Goggins, I would probably just physically die. Like I would literally just die. It wouldn't have. It would be like y'all be pretty much.
But you gotta callous your mind.
Well, remember when he was talking about his last opportunity that he had with the Marines?
The SEALs.
Buds?
His last the last chance they gave him because he was too fat, and he so I think they gave him some time to heal, and then they said you can go into the one phase. What's that called? That week. What's that?
Hell
week or something.
Yeah.
And he went and he did it with like all these stress fractures all around his legs.
Oh yeah.
He duct taped his legs when he was going in the pool because like I don't know, they got to do some like simulation things in the water. Yeah, he literally duct taped his legs. That's crazy.
Well, so go ahead and tell us about the
poop.
The poop.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. I looked it up. I didn't really understand it, but it was like something like your organs can't handle it anymore or something like that. Like you've been running so long that your organs just they like take a break, and so you just
they probably direct energy to the correct resources that need functioning.
Maybe Goggins actually crapped his pants in a run.
Wow.
Yeah, he talks about it in his book. That book is dope, man. I was listening to that while I was running a half marathon. So I did like a 100-kilometer fundraiser over a month for the Uyghurs. So I ran 100 kilometers over 1 month. So I was doing like 5Ks every day just to prepare. And then the last day I had like 23 kilometers left. So
was this an organized event for the Uyghurs?
I just did it through LaunchGood.
Oh, so you just said, hey, I'm running by myself 100 kilometers or whatever.
Right.
For the Uyghurs.
Yeah.
How much are you going to support?
Exactly.
Oh, wow. How much you end up raising?
Like 6,500 or something like that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's.
I thought you were going to say $65.
Yeah, so at the end of this month, I had like 23 kilometers left. So I started running it around like the chain of lakes in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And like halfway there, I'm just like, oh my God. And then I'm listening to his book while I'm running, and he starts talking about crapping his pants. And I'm like, Bismillah, no, I don't want this to happen to me. It would be so embarrassing. But yeah, that was crazy.
Okay, so like, what else have you? So I want to give you some feedback.
Sure.
Some critical feedback.
I'd love some
we talked about this.
Yeah.
So I listen to most of your content. I think and then there's a break, right?
Right.
It's always frustrating. First of all, when you're subscribed to a channel and then they ghost you for like a month.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm guilty of that too. Like I'm on like a 2-week little break.
Right.
Which is completely unwarranted.
And you don't let them know anything.
Well, it's just me being lazy.
Right.
You right? Yeah. You seemed like you had better reasons.
I had finals and a tournament. So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, it's always going to be but
always going to be something.
Yeah, but you got to have a cadence that I think is respects your audience, because they'll just check out and go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like your last show, Huma, you had Hussam. So our listeners know Hussam.
Yeah.
Hussam Gami.
Yeah.
Is that how I pronounce it?
No, it's a Gamea.
Gamea?
Yeah. I mean, Arabic Gama.
Gama? Okay. Yeah. So I'm listening to it. Like, so the first part was about like the Trump and Biden stuff. You know, how Muslims are, that's, which right around the election time.
We shot it before the election.
Which was relevant, right? But then you released, I didn't realize it was part 2, because I was like, why are you guys still talking about this?
Right.
Like, it seemed like it was like redundant, but then you told me what it was one complete episode be split in 2 parts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe you should, to me, I don't do on my channel, very rarely on TMM have we ever split episodes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be like 3 hours plus to warrant that.
It was 3 hours.
Was it?
Yeah, but I mean, even then, even if it's 3 hours, I don't think I'm gonna be splitting episodes anymore.
I mean, it's hard to like. So I don't split episodes,
because like what I realized is like, it's 2020 first of all, so there's like a new headline every day.
Yeah.
I just can't talk about something one week and then upload the second part of it the second week. It's already old. Like literally, since when is Biden Trump old? Like, but it is. It is old. Like there's newer stuff. There's aliens, man. Like
yeah.
Actually,
aliens aren't getting the attention that
I don't
they
even
deserve.
know about the aliens. Somebody was asking in the comments. I didn't hear about the aliens.
You didn't hear about the
Straight up
aliens?
aliens.
Are you?
No. What happened?
Yeah, there's the United States Air Force. We actually did a show with Maliki Click on this, and we were playing the clips that the Navy released, the U.S. Navy.
It was like a projectile that was like going against the laws of science. Like, I don't know. I think it's a jinn, man. It was like,
In my estimation, yeah, it was definitely a jinn. It looks like a Tic Tac. It looks like a little small, and these are Air Force pilots who are recording this this little Tic Tac shaped UFO that goes all the way down towards the water and then comes right up out of the water without like any effort. There's no like jet engine streaks or anything. There's no evidence of like rocket propulsion technology, So
they confirmed it though. Like the government confirmed it. Like
And
people
they have,
have been
like, no
trying to
idea
get
what-
them to do that for years.
and there's other like CIA analysts and stuff who basically explain that the government won't care about it unless it has some kind of insignia from China or Russia bearing on its name. So if it's a foreign technology, okay, well, those are competitors, and we got to find out how we can acquire that technology. If it's aliens, then, well, we can't do anything about that.
What if it's like a Chinese jinn?
Chinese jinn captured the Chinese jinn.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. So now back to your show.
Yeah.
What is the aim? Like when people talk to you, ask you like, "What's your show about?" Because you got some non-Muslim BJJ dude. You got Muhammad Masri,
Right.
Hossam, I think, and then you had the one teacher that like
Jasmine Lane.
So she's not Muslim either.
No, she's Muslim.
She's Muslim.
Yeah.
Okay. But what's in general like when people ask you, "What's your podcast about?"
So here's the thing, like, my whole life I've been trying to figure out. I've been trying to figure out like what my thing is, and I've never been able to figure it out. It's just because I have like so many, small interests in so many different things. You get what I mean? So
Me and Human were talking about this last time he came over. Like, we're stuck in this limbo of
right.
being interested in everything.
Go to the grocery store and pick out a cereal. There's like 30,000. That's what it was like for me picking a major. I changed 6 times.
I did 5.
Yeah,
I did 5. Yeah. But
So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. It's kind of like it's very hard for me to have singularity of focus.
Yeah, that's the ADD we share, right? But it's,
Have you been diagnosed?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm straight up ADD.
I don't know if I am or not.
No, I've been diagnosed.
You have? You have ADD?
Yeah, bad.
But what that does is, like, when you're talking about something that you're interested in, you hyper focus on it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't focus about things you don't care about, but things you do care about, you like super focus.
I might have it then. I don't know
Right?
if I have it or not. It's hard to say. I have some. It seems like I have some
Yeah.
tendencies.
Are you
there.
able to focus on things at job, at your work? Are you able to focus on at work and get your work done?
Depends on what it is.
Are you able to get it done? Are you able to meet the organization's objective requirements and stuff like that? The goals that
Like
they...
if there's an actual deadline with like a presentation or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
In all likelihood, I don't think you have it, but you might have some elements of it where you
Right.
struggle.
But the thing is, like, so my challenge is this, right? At work, the things that I know, like my boss needs done, I bust that out, right? But if it's like stuff that's like self growth or like I need to learn like long term, non urgent but important, that stuff gets blown off.
Yeah, same here.
See, I'll blow off what my boss wants and just do what I want.
Oh, really? No.
So I think majority of everything that gets done is like when enough people scream. I'm like, all right.
I know. It's like right before the
Oh,
deadline.
really? No, though.
Yeah.
So for me,
Crunch time.
I'm very like my mindset at work is like I take politics at work very seriously. Like I'm very much about schmoozing. I
But you do that on the show as well. It's not very hard to believe.
You know what I'm saying?
couldn't do that.
But like even at, like my boss, like I really internalize the idea that I gotta protect my boss. That he's like I gotta like make him look good.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No, it's not me at
and
all.
I'm
That's
all,
not me at all.
I always
Not me.
anticipate like what he might even ask for, and I give it to him before he even asks for it.
Dang.
That kind of thing.
That's next level focus.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
So, but like, but I think the
if I was passionate about my job, I'd do that.
well,
Yeah.
I'm not so
right.
like I'm not passionate about my job, but it's like I don't hate my job. I
Right.
think I look at
I know
it,
what you're trying to say. You know what buttons to push to make people happy
Yeah.
at your work.
Right.
And
You're a people pleaser.
It's not.
I am a very like people. You got that right. Even as a managerial, I'm a manager, right? So I have people that are reporting to me. One of the hardest things for me to do is to be kind of a jerk, even to my people that work for me. You know, because it's hard for me to give like real negative feedback.
I hate that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
thought it'd be in the past. I've done it easier when I had to manage, but it depends. They gotta really push me to a limit. But a thing, if they're generally performing well, but there's specific things I want to nitpick, it's hard for me. Like I will give the negative thing, but I won't sometimes won't do it in a way that's gonna be constructive.
Here's what made it easier for me, at least at work, was just seeing what is the business, what's related to the business, and then just remove the emotions out of it, remove the
Just zombie your way
no
through it.
the way like sometimes someone who reports to you would get you upset and that they didn't send something to you on time or whatever, and you remove all the emotional baggage, and the business aspect is what remains, and that's the feedback I give them. I'm like, here's where you succeeded, here's where you failed, and here's where you can get better.
Yeah, see, I'm in a limbo because I could never survive in a corporation. I'd hate my life. But also, I don't see myself as a business owner either, because for some reason I don't see myself ever firing somebody.
Yeah,
like,
well-
I hate being mean.
No, I hate the idea that I'm charging someone more than I'm actually buying something for. It's
It
something
hurts.
that it hurts me.
It's
Like,
painful.
bro, I've done business, and I've done. I was like an independent sales type of stuff. I can't talk about the actual product, but it's slightly on the illegal side, but not haram side. Okay, so it was like cash sales and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it sucked. You're like, man, I can make this for $2 and I'm selling for $20.
Right.
Oh, you have a problem with that?
Yeah, it
really?
bothered me really badly.
You don't want to screw somebody
No,
over.
so like
Because that was the market rate of the product.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm selling it at the market rate, but it just felt bad.
I don't know if you guys. So like, I set up an account on Clarity.
I don't know what that is.
Clarity is like a place where you creatives can go on and charge for their services. So Sim, when you start Mad Mamluks, people hit you up for like podcast advice, and 95% of them have done nothing.
Yeah.
Right? They just wasted your time. So I was getting the same thing, right? So some sister hit me up for some nonprofit maybe like 6 months ago, and I was like, yeah, she's like, I heard about you. I got your referral from so and so. I was hoping that you could ask some questions about we're going to start a podcast for this organization, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, yeah, sorry, I don't offer pro bono work anymore. I charge $1 a minute. And then I got no reply.
Oh my god.
But I have I have an
No,
account.
I mean, I learned from you in that respect.
Yeah.
So now I do.
You gotta
I
fight
do
it.
charge.
Yeah.
I do charge for my time, and whenever someone wants, but I don't charge ridiculous amounts of money. It's like $50 an hour or something.
Have you heard of imposter syndrome? I don't think it's actual syndrome. But
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you're like, for example, like, okay, I just started podcasting. If somebody came to me to ask for podcasting advice, first of all, don't ask me. I don't know anything. Go ask Sim and Maheen. But if I did know something, I would feel like I didn't. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
I'd feel like-
for you, I the thing is, the way I look at it is that
Right.
look at Sim and I. Like, we've done over 200 episodes on this channel alone, right? Remember Sim and I used to do the Yakin podcast.
Oh, okay.
Remember that? We did that. I got my own channel. So I feel like there's enough like work. You can look at the portfolio. It's obvious.
Yeah.
And I'm like this. So I think, yeah, we're not Joe Rogan or Jordan Harbinger or like.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even if let's say I'm Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Okay. I would feel very uncomfortable thinking like I know something. You know what I mean? It's like even things that I know how to do well, I'm just like, you know what I mean?
No, I mean to me, it's like the market dictates it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's obvious that like we have listeners that continue to tune in. The fact that we put no notice out, and let me see how many people are on this live stream right now. We have no notice. We have 33 people on our live stream right now.
Wow, mashallah. That's good.
There's no like I think I tweeted out something like, and I don't even have that many followers on Twitter, right?
Right.
So it's like I don't even think Sim. I don't know if Sim put out a bad
No.
one with Twitter or not. Right? Did you?
No, I didn't.
All we do is go on YouTube, straight live, boom,
Yeah.
people jump on, right? So I'm like, I think certain things point to itself. I'm like, yeah, so you know more than the person who needs your help. That's all it needs. That's all necessary. Now, granted, I don't think you should charge yet.
Oh no,
Not yet.
Don't even.
Maybe in a year you should.
Okay, so
Wait.
I see
What do you mean? What do you mean? How are you going to charge for the show or your own time?
No, for your time. If people if people ask you for like time,
Yeah.
so you know, and I think everyone has their own niche to it, right? Like everything is so the way I market on Clarity, the way I talk about my podcast is like I will help you conduct interview based shows in person. That's my whole thing. That's my whole spiel. Right? And like, so you want to focus on niche too, because, and it's easier to go on Zoom and it's pretty, you know, but I was like, if you want to do something with video and audio on site somewhere in person with a guest. So what does it involve? That involves like networking, getting guests, scheduling guests.
and time.
Which equipment to have, what kind of lighting works, what's easy to travel with, right? All that stuff. Because I've tried, because now you realize what kind of mics are good for travel, what aren't. Like this you know, versus like you have a studio that's fixed.
Yeah.
My entire setup is like I try to make it easy for the guest, so I'll go there. But it can also be transferred over to like if I had a studio, it had to be easier. But if you can do the hardest part, which is travel, you can do the easier setup as well, right? So that's what. So Joe Bradford, by the way, is the one that put me on Clarity because he's the one. He was talking. Him and I were talking. He's like, because people hit him up all this time for free financial advice. Because Muslims like fi sabilillahi, you know what I'm saying, and they just abuse you, right? And so he was telling me, and I think Joe charges like, I think $5 a minute or something.
Oh, jeez.
You know, and I'm
That's
like,
not bad though.
I'm like, that's fine. I mean, I got no problem with him.
Yeah.
I paid for a call. He actually was my first client for Clarity.
Yeah.
So he paid me to, you know, had some podcast questions.
Yeah, I said
Right?
oh geez because like the 1 minute I didn't know you could like charge per minute. I didn't know
You
that
could
was a
charge
thing.
like Clarity. Yeah, the minimum. I set up the.
What's it? Clarity.com?
Clarity.fm, I think it is.
Yeah.
But you can't go under $1 a minute. So you guys got John Lee Dumas. He has this podcast called Entrepreneur on Fire. It's got like 3,000 I think episodes because he does a show every single day,
right.
and he charges $16 a minute.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's the most expensive one I've seen.
See, but I don't see myself doing that with anything. Like, here's the thing with me. The way I rationalized doing my own podcast was kind of flipped. It wasn't like, oh, I want an audience to talk about things, like an outlet. The way I rationalized it was, this is a way for me to get people on that I'm interested in, to learn about things from them that, that I'm interested in. So
Almost
it's
like an excuse to get free mentorship.
Yeah, exactly. And you can come along and join. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I've heard a lot of podcasts that are very successful now that started with that same mindset. Because and I think what you touched on there is very important. Is that what you're doing, you could care less who listens to the show.
I really don't care.
And I think there's like, yes, we want downloads, but if you're gonna like. That download stuff doesn't happen. Even in my channel, Salted the Sneakers, I don't have like astronaut like huge growth. Because I thought because of Mad Mamluks, all the Mad Mamluks would subscribe to like Salted the Sneakers. But you also realize that like within Mad Mamluks, everyone has their own niche.
Yeah.
There's the people that tune in for Sheikh Amr. There's the Mort crowd. There's the Sim crowd. And there's the Mahin crowd. Right. So it's like now all of us together, we get this big following. Right.
Yeah.
But
we're like Power Rangers.
You know what I'm saying? So now we go individual. So I'm like, okay, so there's people that like specifically my kind of stuff, so they will tune into my stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right. But so it seems like what you're doing is you all you want to do is the objective of the podcast is like, hey, I
want to learn.
You want to learn, and you have these different interests.
Yeah.
It's not Muslim specific.
Yeah, it's
right.
not.
Which is important. Which I think which is kind of how I think about my own show.
That's something I was trying to actually focus on. Ensuring that happens, right? It's not like I'm against Muslim podcasts. I think they definitely have a place.
Yeah.
But the way I'm looking at it is like, I'm a multi-dimensional, multifaceted. Like I have a lot of interests, right? So if I'm doing this podcast to learn about things that I'm interested in, I am interested in Islam, right? Definitely. But there's also other things I'm interested in, right? And also, if we're looking at it from a Dawi perspective, Like you need both. Like you need Muslim channels, but you also need Muslim figures who are like known for other things who happen to be Muslim, because that's also a great da'wah source. Like if you look at Firas Dhahabi or Zahabi, I don't know what it is.
Dhahabi narrated.
Yeah. I think his name is Dhahabi. I don't know.
Is it?
I think I think he's Farsi or Persian, right?
He's Lebanese, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't tell anymore with these people. They're all like becoming tan.
Pin the Lubnan thought for later.
Yeah, okay. We'll put in that. But Firas, like a world-class jiu-jitsu coach. He's George St. Pierre's coach, okay?
Yeah.
Everybody knows him. And he does these like these Q&A live on YouTube.
Yeah.
And people will just, there's all sorts of people in there. And then there's like that one Muslim guy that's like, Assalamu alaikum. And he's like, Wa alaikum assalam, brother. And it's like, that's da'wah, dude. Like, how many non-Muslims are listening to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because and remember when we were younger, there would be people like that who had that kind of, platform, but they wouldn't mention their Islam. They were always kind of scared to mention their Islamness or Muslimness in public. And you're like, dude, just talk about Islam or whatever,
Even subtly, like you don't.
Yeah, in subtle ways. That's
Like
all
you saw what Chappelle did on the Letterman interview, remember?
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. But he was doing that for a long time. He was one of those undercover Muslims.
Yeah.
And I think he had good reason to. I think he said he didn't want to advertise it because he's not the best representation of the faith. So he didn't really advertise his Islamness. But now I think he did a pretty good job on Letterman.
Yeah, I didn't even know Zamzam meant stop. So,
really?
Well, yeah, so he taught me that.
There was a YouTube video that he made, I think it was available on YouTube, where he's like giving like a dars about Zamzam. It's funny. He's like, awesome. Because he's like, the Prophet Abraham, left his wife and then he bounced. It was like, this is like kind of like street tafsir. But he's real, like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You remember Larry Johnson? The play for
with the goal with Grandmama.
Grandmama, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time after the 4-point play in the playoffs, in the 99 playoffs against the Pacers, he was saying Allahu Akbar. And I was like, what, Larry Johnson's Muslim?
Even Tyson, though, I don't know. Did you listen to his Rogan podcast?
Yeah.
He came on Rogan twice, and it was like, it's super subtle because of the way he says it, because that's just how he talks, right? But like every now and then he'll be like, yeah, that's just my relationship with Allah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He talked about it a little bit about that. He's like, I can't remember exactly how he said it's like a weird relationship that he has, but I guess it's...
Same that happened to like Derrick Rose recently. You see that?
Yeah.
So that people are like, well, we don't know Allah universe. I'm like, now we don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like,
I'll take it.
But like,
we'll take the win.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think like that's what the whole podcasting thing, right? Or creating stuff,
right.
Like when we limit ourselves to like Muslim only stuff, we can get away with putting out straight garbage.
Because that's what's available.
It's like halal restaurants.
Right.
They can be trash and people still go.
Because it's the only thing available. Like
right.
You guys, mashallah, in Chicago have so many halal restaurants. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
When I go, like, we just had burgers at
Central.
Central. It was really good. You know what I mean? In Minnesota, we have one burger spot that's halal.
You guys had that one place that got canceled. Remember?
Holy Land. Actually, what that turned out to be, that was a coordinated attack by Sabra.
Sabra and Shatila?
Sabra, the what?
Oh, the homeless place.
Yes, the Zionist company. They dug those tweets up, and the reason being is because Holy Land was selling their hummus to Costco.
Okay, so let's give people some context here. I think this is an interesting like little story.
Yeah.
What happened after George Floyd?
So
right?
after the George Floyd thing,
speaking of which, you know the owner of Cup Foods, right?
Yes.
Where he was like, that's the place where. I don't know if did you come on the show to talk about this ever?
Yeah, I think you did.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
But like we talking about Holy Land. So Holy Land, right after that, people were getting canceled left and right.
Yeah, so
what happened with Holy Land?
So basically what happened after the whole
Tell them the Holy Land. Tell everyone who you're not from Minneapolis, tell them what Holy Land is.
Holy Land is like one of the biggest supermarkets and restaurants in that's like halal and like and grocery stores actually.
Yeah. In Minneapolis.
And it's right across the street from Masjid Al Huda.
Yeah.
Shout out, that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
So it's like that's where everybody goes after Jama'ah, and like it's just that's where everybody went, right?
Yeah, it's like establishment.
Yeah, it's the heart.
Right.
so basically after the whole George Floyd thing, tweets surfaced of the owner's daughter, who was like the manager there or something like that. And they're like super racist, right? Like I don't want to repeat it, but it wasn't like subtle. Okay.
Wait, the daughter's tweets were racist?
Yeah, but they're old. They were like from like 7 years ago. Right?
They were super racist though. I saw
They were terrible.
Wait, what ethnicity was she?
Oh, they're Palestinian.
Bloody? Yeah, they're all racist. Bro, you know how many times
But actually,
I've had trouble with that race?
The dad's actually a really good guy. You know, like before all this happened, he was on a trip with, I don't know if you've heard of Araha.
Araha?
Araha, it's like a relief agency for
for
the
sure.
Horn
I've
of
heard
East
of that.
Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the guy who runs that, he's a really good guy. He's an old family friend. The owner of Holy Land, the guy before all of this even happened, went over to East Africa and was like building like entire freaking cities and like wells and masjids and whatever. Right. So the guy's a really good guy. But yeah, anyway, so tweets surfaced that were old, right? And everybody jumped on it. They're like, I'm boycotting. I was one of those people. You know what I mean? I was like, unless the community forgives, you get what I'm saying? Then I can't in good conscience go there, because that's really messed up, right? I mean, I still haven't gone back, but just 'cause, honestly, I never even went that much. Yeah. So yeah.
But they survived the cancel attempt.
They took some hard hits. So like they were in Midtown Global Market, as they had like another location that they revoked their lease.
Yeah.
And here's where it became like a coordinated attack. Like Sabra, we found out, dug up those tweets because they were in direct competition with them, selling to like Costco and Sam's Club in Minnesota. Like if before this, if you went to Costco or Sam's Club, you saw Holy Land hummus. It was the dominant. You know, all the white people in Minnesota, they're like, oh my God, Holy Land hummus. Right? Like, you talk to any white person about hummus, they're going to be like, yeah, I got some from Holy Land. Right? But anyways, so
I mean, wait, but why is it the daughter's views that cast?
That's cancel culture, bro.
well,
But she used to work there too, right?
She still worked there at the time. And,
Oh, right.
and to be fair, the hashtag was like, ish my family says, or ish my dad says.
Oh.
So yeah, it wasn't completely, yeah, but I don't know. At the same time, it's 7 years ago.
But it was really bad stuff.
It was, bro.
I showed Sim tweets. Sim probably forgot.
Yeah.
But Sim's reaction was like, this person is mentally unstable. This isn't like a normal person actually saying this.
Yeah, I just think she was a little girl that was just figuring things out.
super
She came out and she apologized, to give her credit. Like she was like given like she gave a heartfelt apology and everything.
No, I think she needs to adopt a black child. That would be a sufficient
apology.
apology.
When I read those tweets, I was like,
or marry a black man.
I was like, this chick must have dated a guy from the KKK
Oh god.
or something, right?
Imagine a Palestinian marrying a black guy. Doesn't happen, dude. They're very
Palestinian married a black.
I've actually seen some stories.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably
where-
very.
where they weren't disowned.
It was on Sajjad's
Muslims of the World book?
Yeah, there's
Really?
like every 50 posters, a Palestinian girl that marries a black guy who talks about like
Word?
the struggles with her family, but they eventually accepted him.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, and again, I'm sure there's Palestinians listening here, in our friends. We're
offense,
not
I
talking
love
about
you.
every single one of you guys, but you know yourself. Most of you guys.
Most
are
of
racist.
y'all are racist, yeah.
Bro, they're racist outside their own town. It's like,
Yeah, you gotta be for their own
"Oh,
village,
daughter
man.
was not marry a man from that village."
Well, the thing
What
is,
the hell's wrong with you?
like Arab are very tribal, and the smaller you get, the more divisions there are.
You know why? This is why the Ottomans didn't marry Arab women.
Yeah.
Did you know that the Ottoman caliphs, none of them
They didn't even marry Turks too.
They purposely, their elders, the people who formed the constitutional law of Turkey, or I don't think it was even written in the law, but the unstated rule was you don't marry Arabs because of tribalism. If you have a part Arab Khalif or child, then they're going to, those tribes from that region will vie for him to maintain power.
Turks as well. They didn't marry Turkish women.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
marry
marry-
like,
all of them were-
concubines from like Ukraine and like
Ukraine,
Greece and
Bulgaria,
stuff like
Romania,
Yeah.
and Greece. So all the Ottoman mothers are actually from Europe.
that. Yeah, that's
insane.
Well, yeah, because I think Mehmed.
But that's beautiful logic, though, man. When you have
It is.
tribalism like the Arabs did, the best way to get rid of that is, hey, guess what? We don't have a lot of.
Yeah. To be fair though, there are pros and cons. You know, like I've seen tribalism destroy, like countries like Somalia really suffers from tribalism. But at the same time, if you look at it, like if you go to like the city where I'm from now, you're not gonna really find homeless people because if somebody from your tribe
Is that because you won't find homes?
No, actually, everybody lives in houses like brick houses. There, we don't like even have
like,
apartments.
it wasn't bombed oblivion.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Really?
But the thing is, like,
Okay.
if somebody is like they can't like live on their own anymore, and they're from your tribe, like you're not gonna let them go live on the street because that'd be a shame on your whole tribe.
They need
You
to
take them in.
have social justice warriors among these tribalism, like toxic tribalism, hashtag toxic tribalism, and then prevent wars within the tribes.
If the leadership is good, it's like dictatorships, right?
Yeah.
You know, benevolent dictators are amazing, but once they go evil, it's terrible,
Yeah.
right? But it's like that. If all the shuyukh of the Ashair are good people, like right now, our city has peace between the tribes, right? Because all the leaders of the tribes are cool. And if there's an occasional fight between like youth from different tribes, and the shuyukh just come sit down over some chai and talk it out. You know what I mean? But yeah, if there's a problem between them that's deeper, then it's a recipe for disaster. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that goes back to governance too. Dictatorships are like that as well. I mean, whereas like democracies, nothing gets done, honestly.
Right, but like, when's the last time you go back? How often do you get to go back?
I haven't gone back since 2013, just because after 2013, that's really when the sectarian violence ramped up from Iran and their militias.
Okay.
And the thing is, and Daesh took over Mosul at that point. So here's the thing. If I want to get to our village, I have one of two choices. I can either fly to Erbil, which is the capital of Kurdistan. They call it Hawler, right? And drive down to our village.
Yeah.
But then I'd have to go through Mosul.
Okay.
Right? And good luck getting through Mosul with an American passport. Daesh will take care of you, right? I mean, they're not there anymore, but...
So you can go now. Would you think about going soon?
Maybe. I'd probably stay in Baghdad. And
So you fly to Baghdad.
yeah, so that's the other option. You fly to Baghdad.
Okay.
The problem is, in 2013, when I went to Baghdad, things were way better than they were. I don't know. I've heard things are getting a little bit better now, but like a year or two ago, they were worse than it was in 2013. And in 2013, we flew to Baghdad, right? And we drove up to our village. It's like a 50 kilometer or 50 mile drive. It took us like 2.5 hours just because there's 36 checkpoints on the way. And any given checkpoint, you get down, your bags get sniffed by dogs. You got to give them a bribe. Like it's just ridiculous. Like we literally, like my aunt was there, and we pretty much act like Shia just to get through. You get like they'll wear the hijab on their chin,
Yeah.
and start talking in a southern accent to the guys on the checkpoints. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, like if you like, they know you're Sunni, but if you appreciate their like culture, their things, they like it. You know what I mean? So they just let you through.
Bro, a lot of times you just, with the Shia, you just say you're a Sayyid, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
And they'll be okay
that's a
with
big deal over there. Yeah.
Bro, the amount of Shia girls that are interested in Sayyids,
Yeah, that's where that mutta comes in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It comes in candy. Since you mentioned Lebanon, I said pin it.
Right.
So there's this this movie coming out. It's called a rom-com, romantic comedy
Oh Lord.
called
my
Breaking
God.
Fast.
wait, is this like made by Muslims or what?
I don't. Well, so the
I mean,
Is this going to be on Amazon?
actually,
or
I heard it
something?
was made by two.
so the actor, the
Yeah.
main protagonist, he's
Right.
Lebanese. So I looked him up, like, who is this dude, man? First, the name, I was like, he might be some Yahudi guy. Sounds like Yahudi sounding name. Look him up. He's Lebanese. He's gay. He says he's also Muslim, Jewish, and Christian.
What the hell?
So I was like, I mean, he hasn't heard of perennialism, but I guess that's, well, I don't know what else. Like, you know, it's just this is super.
It's super Lebanese thing to say too.
Bro, it's back in the day when like you befriend somebody and you're like. They have like a Muslim last name, and you're like, "Hey, are you Muslim?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm half." What? Yeah, my dad was Muslim, but I don't really know him. It's like, what do you mean you're half? That's not how it works. You know that, right?
Yeah. So I
I've
mean,
heard that many times.
So I'm thinking like, so I was like, my take on it, because people are already commenting on it, and people are like, some people are making comments like, "Oh, this is just an extension of Rami." I'm like, come on, that's offensive to Rami. First of all, I think like people have their issues with Rami. I liked Rami, but so I'm like, I was thinking about, I'm gonna watch this movie. I watched the trailer. I don't think I have the stomach to watch this movie.
Yeah. It's just,
Like-
describe what you saw in the trailer because I don't think I can play it.
It's just it's kind of like it. It's getting all these awards, independence, all this stuff, and it's this guy who's Arab. He's like a off the boat Arab dude, who's like it's in Ramadan and he's like fasting, and he's got this immigrant wife, mom, right? And then he meets this dude, and he has this gay friend, right? Who's like pushing him to get with this like white dude who's like trying to hit on him, right? And it's just like. It looks like your typical, like, you remember, you're too young for this, but in the late 90s and early 2000s, it seems like a lot of these movies, like the romantic comedies, or like Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Remember him? He used to be in all these movies. He like disappeared on the face of the earth, right? Or The Wedding Planner with Jennifer Lopez and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
That kind of like vibe
Right.
to it, right? Except it's a dude, and it shows this guy praying and stuff. So he's like trying to be observant. So they're trying to portray it like, oh, it's an observant Muslim who's like gay, and he's also like meets this guy in Ramadan, and they're like, and it's about so I guess they're having iftar together every night.
okay, so I have a question. When they pray, do they pray next to each other?
No, the
Or
dude's
who
not.
stands
The
behind?
other dude is kafir,
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So
is
and
he at least a Christian or a Jew?
I don't know. So I look up the other guy. The other guy in real life is straight, right? And and there's a kissing scene in it because they flash into a kissing scene, and I'm like, that's the part I can't stand. Like I can't I'm desensitized to pretty much all heterosexual fahisha, but homosexual stuff I gotta fast forward through, so I can't handle it. Like even basic, I just can't. I am not ready for. I am not there.
Right.
I just gotta skip. Like I watched this show on HBO Max recently called Industry. It was really good, but all the gay stuff I had to skip over. Right? It was just bad, dude. But yeah. So I don't have the stomach for it. But I don't know. It's just like. It's like Hollywood. As somebody had posted earlier on Facebook that we asked for representation. Stop asking. Who cares about representation, man?
Representation is the stupidest thing ever.
No, it's not just the representation, but now what you're seeing the left is combining the different elements of the oppressed categories into one. So, it wasn't just that, he is a Muslim, but he's also gay.
Intersectional
But now
oppression.
you're going to add different elements to his into the framework that his lover is Latino and he's black, and
One of them's trans.
one of them becomes disabled, and one of them has
Dude, if I'm being honest,
periods of schizophrenia or something, mental health problems.
if I'm being honest, I miss the days when we were terrorists.
That's a good, wonderful point. I think life was simpler back
Life
then.
was simpler. We could just be like, no, I'm not
No,
gonna hurt you.
that's not even an Arab guy. That's
Yeah.
actually some.
Or even
Iran
Aladdin.
guy.
Like I wasn't upset by Aladdin.
Yeah.
I loved Aladdin, dude.
The problem is this: is
They're just mixing things.
the people who are making all this fuss
Yeah.
about representation, they themselves don't know jack about Islam. They're offended by Aladdin, but they don't say squat about. Well, granted, this trailer just came out today. I also think it's so. There's also granted, I'm looking on Twitter and people are like. And there were people who are like, "Oh, well, here the Yaqeen sponsored this movie."
What?
It's just shade.
They're joking.
Because there's this whole now let me ask you, it almost feels like somebody posted oh, I wish Sheikh Omar Suleiman and Sheikh Yasser Qadi, they need to make a public condemnation about this movie. And I'm like, that sounds like when non-Muslims tell us that we need to condemn every terrorist act.
Yeah.
Why the hell should they have to
That's
say
not
anything?
their job. Yeah.
Is it
but how come? You know what? I have to push back on that. Sometimes Yasser Qadi goes off and he said something about Jordan Peterson and why he took a picture with some guy who was wearing an anti-Islam T-shirt, and then he said, "Oh well, Jordan Peterson is this and that." I can't remember the post, but I'm just saying, in certain respects, you do see condemnation, but it's a very coordinated. What bothers me is that the condemnation that always comes out from the superstar scholars is always right in line with what is accepted by leftist Muslims. It's never, oh, you know what, I read this piece from Jordan Peterson and it was a fantastic lecture or a book or whatever. You never hear anything like that from them. And it displays to me a level of intellectual dishonesty, and that's why I like a lot of the brothers from the UK, where we talked to Hunter Sources, where he said a lot of praiseworthy things on our show about Jordan Peterson. He's like, I really want to talk to him and then have a conversation with him, and he seems like someone who is giving a lot of thought to the world's problems. And but you see from the American so-called celebrity circuit, you just see straight up everything that they do decide to make public statements on. Well, they just happen to be in line with what is the overall prevailing ideas that the leftist Muslims are also saying,
Yeah. But I feel like there's a difference, though, between like a casual post and like a statement. Like,
well, it's not,
the 24th of
we don't need a casual, we don't need a statement. We just need a casual post. Like, hey, this is not acceptable.
See, I don't have an issue with the casual post, but I feel like some people expect like a signature at the bottom and like the 24th of Shawwal 1444, like
no
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Calm down, man.
Wilayatul America.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like. Yeah, there are different scenarios. I think what Sim is, I think the people in the UK. That's what I'll say. In America, we still have to get along with each other.
right.
Right. I mean, that's the bottom line. I think there is you can't just throw shit. Like, here's the thing, because I know you, so I know Hammam. We could have. Honestly, I don't think we disagree on too much, to be honest, even like ideologically.
Right.
I think that, but someone we would disagree with on, right? Some person, you like, the thing is, you still have to get along with that. I think you still have to have some decorum.
Right.
I think when you're crossing borders and stuff, like UK, it's easy for them to like talk about, or maybe their dynamic is Sim went to the UK, so maybe you can comment. But it's like there's so many Muslims there, and they're so like dense, that they can get away with like stuff that we can't necessarily like.
They don't get
we
it.
have to prioritize certain things.
Like we were just talking about like
So
like
it's
gays,
I think what Sim's point is like, so like the leftist Muslims, some of them are gonna be there's like even there's strains of leftist Muslims. There's leftist Muslims who are like, who wear hijab and etc. and maybe are somewhat semi-practicing, and there are leftist Muslims who are completely like out there.
Right.
So even they have their fringe.
Yes.
Right. They have like their spectrum, so to speak. Right. So I think the people who are more on the conservative side, the closer, like you might find the ISNA and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like the Yasser Qadis and Omar Suleimans understand their role as a community leader they still have to be able to engage with that group.
Right.
You can't be like, because calling people out gets you nowhere, to be honest. Like it's easy to do.
What about Muslims like us who like Jordan Peterson, and now he
I've never I couldn't get through his book.
You couldn't. I mean, bro, it's easy one-on-one reading.
Nah, I was like, I'd rather watch Rami.
You're talking about 12 Rules of Life?
Yeah, that one.
What was so hard about it?
I do audiobook and I couldn't finish it. It was just like,
interesting.
Here's
I got
the thing,
through like
though.
2 chapters and it was like,
here's what people in the UK don't understand, though. It's like they are so many over there that they're kind of concentrated.
Yeah.
They could just live in their own little bubble.
Yeah.
Here, like we were just talking about,
You're
gays.
out on your own when you take a stand on any issue. Like as a practicing Muslim,
Yeah.
like
It's not even just taking a stand. It's like your behavior. Like I bet you a guy in the UK would freak out seeing two like a speaker's corner. If 2 guys kiss in speaker's corner, they freak out. Over here, we were just talking about homosexuality, right? Like obviously in Islam, we say that's haram, right?
Yeah.
But we're not gonna, you can't just go mistreat gay people in the street. One of them's your accountant. One of them is your bank teller. Literally, he's pumping your gas at the car wash. Like he's the one making your food at McDonald's. Don't go to McDonald's. That's for all you non-Zabiha folk.
Mufti Abu Lake does not eat McDonald's. When we told him about Muslims in America don't eat Zabiha, he like freaked out.
what?
Yeah, go back to our show and listen to it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's crazy. That's something else.
He was like, really? He was like the idea of like somebody walking into McDonald's and buying a Big Mac, because in UK McDonald's is not halal. or zabiha, what do you want to call it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, the idea of somebody doing that, he's like, it's unfathomable.
So many daisies over there, though. That's why.
He was like,
Yeah.
there's so many like Z spots on every corner.
Right.
There's always like there's a burger every, it's there's no need to.
Yeah.
And that also plays an effect.
For
There's,
sure.
right.
there's no Me Too.
No need
Oh,
to
no,
like
Me Too. I thought
no need to eat like
no
a
Me Too
non-Z
movement
spot.
happening at the.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. Like, you're gonna have to deal with these people, so you can't be mean. You gotta be nice. You know what I mean? And cordial.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So these are our realities.
I think cordial is the key because
Right.
like, do we have to be jerks? Is the question.
Yeah. No, we shouldn't be jerks. Aslan. Like, even here's what they don't get in the UK.
Yeah.
It's like, even if you didn't live in your bubble, I'm sorry. Even if you did live in a bubble, you still shouldn't be a jerk. Right? At the end of the day, it's your goal to invite this guy to Islam. Like, even if he's gay and he converts to Islam, that's better than him being gay and not being, becoming Muslim. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, even if in your environment it's totally taboo to be gay and there's a gay person, still don't be a jerk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You being nice to him that's dawah, man.
Right. But the other thing is with Muslims, like
Yeah.
let's say people who are like maybe people who have been critiqued on our platform, right?
Right.
They're still Muslims. Unless Sheikh Amr made takfir, that fatwa is
Yeah.
legit. So if Sheikh Amr has a fatwa that this person's a kafir, then but that person until that point,
Within the millah.
yeah, right. Ahlul Qibla, whatever you want to, so there's a respect that has to be given there, right?
Yes.
You can be discreet, and I think that's where that's why people hate Muslim Twitter. People like Muslim Twitter. People are always like Muslims around Twitter are always talking about how Muslim Twitter sucks.
Right.
Like it's terrible for the heart. Why?
Yeah.
Because you are going after other Muslims.
For no reason. Yeah.
Right, you're starting beef with other Muslims. I've been guilty of it too, right? It's not like we've all maybe
We all
have got in something. We're throwing shade at people. Even the Rabia Chaudhry's. Rabia Chaudhry's Muslim. As
Yes.
much as we throw shade at her, right?
I am guilty
So
of
I think
throwing
we're
shade
guilty
at
of
her.
that. Like
when you are, she doesn't count. Everyone else is okay. You can make her and the other Harun. What's his name?
Harun Mogul.
Harun Mogul. That cast of characters.
Wajah Ali.
They're all like banging each other
So
and sleeping with each other's wives and stuff. I don't know what's going on with that crowd not these days, but
They all do jujitsu together.
So basically, according to the Aqidah of Sim,
yeah.
MLI makes you outside the fort of Islam. Because that's the MLI crowd, basically.
Yeah.
Like, if you're an MLI, you're like...
I mean, fighting the Muslims is one of the pathways out of the Ummah. I'm just
Right.
saying, I'm not gonna individually
So,
takfir them myself.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, fighting actual Muslims
Right.
and going against the interests of the Ummah is very, very dangerous path.
But I think it's always... a lot of that's... Even that's up for... Do you think it's up for interpretation? Let me ask you this. I, as a Bangladeshi Muslim, I know jack about Palestine.
Right.
One thing I know about Palestine is they own all the corner stores. And they have booze. Right? And we live in a predominantly Palestinian... I know my daughter wants to go to Palestine. That's all she talks about.
Yeah.
Because of her, her upbringing. So...
We need to teach her.
So the thing of it is that you learn about Palestine is being an issue, but why is it an issue? It's not, we're not taught ever. When you come through the Salafi creed, that's how I came into the deen.
Yeah.
That doesn't get talked about. You heard what I heard about Hamas and Sheikh Al-Albani said they're deviants.
Oh yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the position so these are all Wajahat, Harun Mogul, these are suburban Desi people.
Right.
You grew up in an American framework. You're like, oh, well, we want to learn about Jews, or we want to, someone approaches them, right? Like, do they? I don't think they think they're acting against the interest of Muslims.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they see it, right?
I feel
That's above my pay grade.
like Dr. Jonathan Brown, for example, right?
Yeah.
You gotta understand, he's very anti-MLI, but he's a son-in-law of Dr. Samuel Arian,
Yeah.
right? So he has an insight that, your experience brings you that insight. Unless someone becomes well-read in the subject, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea why Sim cares about Palestine either. He's in Lombard. He's a
Bro, I
Hyderabadi
shouldn't,
from,
man. The
Lombard.
amount of times Palestinian women broke my heart, it's like It's very painful.
I
And
mean,
it was always because of like ethnic reasons, like
Yeah.
because their family can't accept me and stuff like that. It was horrible.
Okay, aside from all that though, it's the third holiest place in Islam, Al-Aqsa.
Bro, but
Just
I don't
so-
feel like fighting for them anymore.
Yeah, so so you know,
It broke my heart too much.
This something I think came out on a previous show. Like I think Morton when Moga was still here. We were talking about like we care about Al-Aqsa, but all this Hebron, all this other stuff, like that's just another land.
No, man. Hebron, Al-Khalil.
Okay.
That's where Sayyidina Ibrahim is buried. That's why it's called Al-Khalil, because Sayyidina Ibrahim is Khalilullah.
Is he really buried there?
Yes. There's so much.
Are you serious? That's the
Yes,
name?
bro. Yes. That's why
I
it's
always
called
thought Khalil
Al-Khalil.
was because some Arab guy named Khalil. You know, it's just-
No,
I thought it was from Muqtasar Khalil,
and
the
there's
great
so many
Malak.
places like that in Palestine. Like
Okay.
it has so like it's not just Al-Aqsa. The entire place has so much Islamic significance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like okay, you know, put aside all of the racial things.
Yeah.
And like just. Because okay, if I'm being honest, they're not all like that. You know what I mean? I know so many good Palestinian people.
in Gaza, usually that's where they are. All the good people.
I mean, I have a lot of good Khalili friends, and you know, Ramallah. Like I know a lot of good people. But the point is though, it's like at the end of the day, Al-Aqsa supersedes what we think about the people that live there.
That's true. You have to put aside it.
Yeah,
You have to put aside your hatred for the Palestinians.
Like, okay,
And the PLO.
let's look at the Kaaba.
Yeah.
And let's look at Al-Madinah al-Munawwara.
Right.
Right? We love those places despite how ridiculously horrendous the Saudi government is.
Yeah.
And
Speak for you. Listen, I think this is where we disagree, but continue.
this is where we disagree.
But you don't like Palestinians at all?
No, it's not that. I'm just trying. I think like I've heard enough. When I talk to Muslims growing up in America, there's a lot of sentiment. Like so, I'll give you the Bangladeshi perspective, right? So like Bangladesh, I think a day or two ago, or today even, there was like 49th anniversary of the independence, like the Declaration of Independence from at the time West Pakistan, right? 1971 was the War of Liberation. So during that time, I had heard like people, many Bangladeshis feel that like the Arab world did not back up the Bangladesh because there was this propaganda being spouted by Pakistan that Bangladesh were a bunch of Hindus. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Right.
I got newsflash for Bengalis, okay? Yeah, Arab world didn't even give
didn't
a
care about
bleep about
themselves.
anything about anything happening on the subcontinent, whether it was India, Pakistan, or anything. They didn't care.
So
they
for that
didn't
same
care about
reason,
themselves though. Like,
Yeah, they
so that's why this whole thing of it is like, why should we care about Palestine? Because they like a lot of these Muslims don't they might know about Aqsa, but they're not going to equate because most Bangladeshis I know like hate Saudi.
yeah.
But they know the Haram, right?
Yes.
And I think that's where it is. Like the Palestinian cause to them is separate than Aqsa.
Well, here's the thing. It's old too. It's like 70 years old. So
Yeah.
a lot of the people this shocked me, but I found out that when my grandfather went to Hajj,
Yeah.
part of the regular, you know how we go to like Mecca, then Medina, or vice versa?
Yep.
Part of the regular routine, it was completely expected, is that you would go to Al-Aqsa next. That was part of Hajj. Like, I'm not saying fiqhiyan, right?
Like
But
Medina,
that's-
like
it's part of the experience. You
Right.
visit all three, right?
Yeah.
But I when I was born, there's Israel, so like we didn't have that experience. So I feel like that definitely is part of it. You know what I mean? Like if suddenly we couldn't go to Al Medina anymore,
yeah.
right? And Hajj was just Mecca,
That would
give it
suck.
70 years, and people in Bangladesh aren't gonna care about Medina either. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's just they just never lived it.
and I think Humam hits the nail on the head. You have to identify with your Islam. What separates you from your tribal lineage and whatever ties that are artificial in a sense that Islam doesn't recognize. That is what supersedes everything. And yes, of course, you're going to have people in Bangladesh and in Pakistan and all over the different world that are going to have gripes with the Palestinians for whatever reason. With Sim, it was his broken heart, but and with some Bengalis, it'll be because they didn't see enough support from Palestinians, during their cause. Even the Kashmiris have gripes with the Palestinians. Hey, we always supported the Palestinian thing, but you never supported anything that we did. And we would always come to your marches, but you never came to anything related to
I feel
Kashmir,
that.
you know?
Yeah.
So, of course,
you see that now with Yemen too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember Sister Anissa came on our show like a couple years back.
Yeah.
Talking about Yemen, and I was at a fundraiser like a year right before COVID hit, maybe like about a little year and a half ago, right? And it was a Yemen fundraiser.
Yeah.
And they had a fund, and the normal fundraiser was someone who's well known in Chicago. He fundraises like Palestinian causes, right? And he normally like hustles, like he works the crowd. But for Yemen, he was kind of like, it was like, oh, like five, you know, like, all right, well, whatever you guys are gonna give, you can give. He like got the mic. The sister got up there. At least she grabbed the mic from him. It's like, I am like, what? Like, first off, for Palestine, you're gonna be on the working 45 minutes, but Yemen's not good enough.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
I totally get the sentiment. It's just like, I feel like if we look at the Muslim world right now, who doesn't need help is the question, as opposed to who needs help.
Look, literally, if you go from the farthest stretches of the east to the west, every area is.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if we I feel like at some point we're just playing Oppression Olympics.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
You know what I mean?
But going back to the original point about like,
it's definitely a valid point.
But I think it's understandable why a Harun Mogul or a Wajahat, because you have Desi suburban friends in Minnesota.
Yeah,
you got to think about, like, I grew up in that environment, right? I got to see, like, I think about my own mindset and how that changes. You know what I'm saying? And like what affected things, and how friends of mine who are like lifeline friends, they don't even know about this stuff. And all it is little forks here and there that change your trajectory.
It completely.
So to me, it's like, I don't think that the whole issue of like kufr for being MLI. I mean, I think you could make the argument it's really problematic. Yeah. But like, I'm curious if we were so belligerent toward these individuals, like if we were complete jerks and just called them out and just cut them off. You understand what I'm saying?
I think they've already been cut off.
No, before that
they only have a few followers.
No, what I'm saying is, like, did we really try to make an effort to convince them that they were wrong? Or did we just put them on blast?
Yeah, I think we just put them on blast.
Actually, I think there's a lot of efforts, to be honest. Like, if you if you look at like some of the stuff Dr. Hatem Bazian from Zaytuna wrote,
right?
Also, if you guys want to talk to somebody who's like super knowledgeable about Palestine, and also Islam, he's actually Imam. I don't know if you guys know him, Imam Imran Salha.
Oh, yeah, Imran Salha. Yeah, he used to be an imam here around here.
Yeah, he's Palestinian, right? So he's incredibly knowledgeable about the Islamic significance of Palestine. Like I've heard like several talks from him about that. Right. So so he's also a really good person to talk to about that.
Yeah. You know, the Islamic significance of Kashmir was only related to many scholars thinking Kashmir was the place where Adam and Eve descended. Right? Yeah.
I think
we're descended. I think they both descended because they were both sent to Earth at the same time.
But they found each other. So I don't know if this is how sahih this is or whatever.
I don't think they could find each other if they were on different parts of Earth, bro.
Well, they're 70 dhira tall.
That's true. They're giants back then.
Yeah. So Mufti Kamani was actually talking about this.
The trees were taller too back then.
Were they?
They were like prehistoric, bro. There were brontosauruses and stuff back then.
I guess. Or maybe that was after. I don't know.
Bro, come on. Imagine Adam and Eve, how alayhi may peace be and blessing be on them. But imagine them like walking over trees. That reminds me of that one show, man, Attack on Titan. Do you ever watch that anime?
I never watched anime.
You never watched anime?
No, I never got.
Bro, you look like an anime guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always get that.
You look
question.
like that Dragon Ball Z type of a face. Like,
I always got that question, and everybody's always surprised that I don't watch anime. I don't know. I just never liked it.
You look like a. Usually, a lot of like MMA guys, people who get influenced into going to MMA. Yeah. They got influenced because of.
I was influenced by Bruce Lee, man.
Bruce Lee was the number one. Enter the Dragon, without doubt, and Van Damme.
So, but back to Sayyidina Adam and Hawa, Mufti Kamani was actually talking about it. He was saying that the predominant opinion is that Sayyidina Adam landed somewhere there in the subcontinent area, and Hawa landed in Jeddah, right?
Yeah.
And they looked for each other until they found each other, and the place that they found each other was called Jabal Arafah. It's called Arafah because that's where Arafu Ba'd.
Who, Yasser Arafat?
No, Arafah. Jabal Arafah.
Oh yeah, that's the place,
Yeah,
right?
because that's where Ta'arafu. That's where they
Arafah, that where we do for Hajj, that Arafah?
Yes. So so the story is that's where Adam and Hawa actually found each other, which is
I thought you were making a case for Palestine, like Yasser Arafat and them.
Oh,
Were
no.
like, what's
No,
going on here?
yeah.
So,
So,
Sim, you heard it was Kashmir?
No, I heard that it was Kashmir. That there were some scholars who said
yeah. So Ta'aruf, it means get to know each other. Ta'arafu, they got to know each other. So the mountain became known as Arafah.
So they got dropped in different parts of the world?
That,
They had to
that's
find each
that's
other?
what I
That-
heard in the Mufti Kamani lecture. I don't know.
I don't believe that because I mean that
Was it
it's
because
a fun
wasn't she
theory to have.
created from the rib?
But that was in heaven.
That was in Jannah.
Oh,
bro.
that's
That was
right.
when-
Yeah. So
That doesn't matter. That's like saying someone was born
they essentially got dropped separately in like okay.
Yeah. But even the rib thing, there's an ikhtilaf about it.
Really?
Yeah. It's you guys got to listen to that. It's on the Qalam podcast.
Bro, you know that's gonna be influenced by the whole rib thing. Whenever like, I don't
No,
wanna say
it's
anything.
not. It's not like that at all.
Bro, it's like, well, it's not technically the rib.
No. So okay.
It's because the rib protects a man's arm.
Okay.
You know what that is, bro.
Humam,
Come
just
on.
tell us so because Sim ain't gonna listen to it.
I'm not a liberal, bro.
No, I'm not. You're not. But
Yeah.
Just let's just say there's
Certain influence.
certain people who influence.
Mufti Kamani is legit though.
I love Mufti Kamani, bro.
Yeah, he's legit. So
Okay, so what do you say?
I don't remember honestly, but I just go listen to this is like my favorite series on there. It's the Lives of the Prophets. He literally goes through most of the major prophets
Really?
and like details their lives.
Is it better than Triple A's?
What's Triple A's?
AAA, bro.
Triple A's.
The
Lives of
Unmentionable Man.
Prophets.
Oh,
Is it like
I
how
don't
would you
know.
compare?
I was really young.
You've
I've
never
never
listened to Triple
that.
A's?
No.
Oh, you haven't listened to. You haven't learned the Sirah, bro. Or you haven't learned.
You haven't learned Islam.
Al-Bidayah wal Nihaya. You haven't studied it until you do it.
Oh my god.
Bro, you gotta go on Kalamullah, bro. Do you know about Kalamullah.com?
I gotta get a VPN first, man.
What? You gotta use a Tor browser. You don't have a Tor browser?
No.
Come on, bro. The Onion browser. You don't have that,
What is that?
bro? We'll talk after the show.
We'll talk after.
Yeah,
the show.
yeah, no, but like,
Yeah, give me the breakdown.
So I'll check that. You know, Mufti Kamani, by the way, he's
You know, he's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu.
no, yeah, and also his like random durus are like some of the powerful speeches I've ever heard.
He's freaking awesome. I love him, honestly.
Like I remember, like, dude, that dude is able to like his art. You know, I first met him. He was like 19 years old.
Oh wow, inshallah.
I was at a Darul Hikmah retreat. They don't exist
Yeah.
anymore. It's like some 19-year-old kid, and he was like, he was grilling us about like eating McDonald's fish, and I'm like, this dude in my head, I was like, this dude don't know I eat like straight up non-Z. And I used to not be non-Z back then, right? And he's like telling brothers, like, you know, brother, we should eat. He's like 19. He's getting married later that week.
Right.
I remember because it was a weekend retreat, Memorial Day, and his nikah was being done the Friday of the next week, right?
Yeah.
So he was super young, just graduated from his madrasa, right? But even back then, I remember his like style of speaking was like just on point.
Bro, it's so lit because like he'll mention something that's from like the nusus,
Yeah.
and then he'll like go off on 10 minutes just talking about it, like giving a reflection about it.
I
It's
probably
lit.
should like. Is it on the Column podcast?
Yeah, it's on YouTube as well.
So the problem with the Column podcast, I wish they could distinguish the different segments.
They do. Oh,
do.
you mean like playlists?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
of like,
That's annoying.
You have Sheikh Abdul Nasser Sira. You had they
They need to
had,
get on Spotify.
they had a podcast for a little bit.
They still do.
Like a
On Apple.
like a conversation. No, I'm talking about like a round table style.
yeah,
they
yeah,
had that for a little bit. But you can't hang with the big dogs like the Mad Mamluks. Like they tried. I think it was kind of like a Mad Mamluk style kind of show. Because I had heard, hey, they wanted to like. Some people don't like the Mad Mamluks to have like the influence we do or the platform we do.
Yeah, there's some guys out of California that just popped up. Prophetic Mentality.
They're dope, man. I know the guys.
I haven't gotten a chance to listen to them. I don't really know who they are.
I'm actually.
but I've heard good things.
I'm planning to fly out there to learn videography from the guy.
He's
He's a professional videographer.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's fun. I'd like to join you,
You didn't invite me to the UK?
bro. It wasn't like there was space that Dilly said, "Hey, why don't you invite Maheen as well?" It was his house.
Yo, Dilly. I was Dilly, man, and Dilly left you hanging too. So
Yeah, that's
he
right.
broke off from you, and like Dilly should have invited me because I'm Bengali.
I don't think. Wait, how come they haven't come out with episode 50 yet? Because I think our thing's supposed to end after episode 50.
And then
Are they like
so
stopping?
no, so
maybe.
the whole story of Blood Brothers was a Mad Mamluks production.
No,
Yes.
it wasn't it was a partner.
A partner kind of
Because
thing.
we would publish their stuff on the podcast.
Yeah.
On Spotify
Right.
and etc.
Are they opening their own?
So they're opening their own now.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And they said, hey, man, looks.
there's no Mad Mamluks link anymore
Aw.
after episode 50. Yeah.
Sad story.
I
Yeah.
know.
Right?
Right. But I think the prophetic mentality, they don't have a lot of content. I know the brother Amr Mabruk. We've been talking on the phone. He's all my video questions. He allows me what camera to get, lighting, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The guy's a pro.
Dude, as soon as I made my Instagram account for my podcast,
Yeah.
which is by the way at the Last Samurai podcast.
Yeah.
Anyways, they followed me like right away.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's dope. Who are
Yeah.
these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got some good content out. They don't have that much content. They're like stickers on quality.
Yeah.
And their video quality is really nice.
I saw their trailer. It looked really crisp.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Amr has a background in videography. Like he actually has clientele, so he has like high end equipment too that he uses as a professional.
Is the episode with Cyrus out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cyrus episode's out.
I saw that in the trailer, and I was like,
his Mustafa Umar
love
show
Cyrus.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I actually met Cyrus when I went to Istanbul.
Cyrus McGoldrick. Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
He's one of my favorite human beings on the planet.
He showed up. Okay, so I went with Turkin Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, and so our hotel was in Beyoğlu.
Yeah.
Right, which is like Istiklal. You know Istiklal Street?
never been to Turkey.
Istiklal Street is like secular land,
Okay.
right? I mean, Taksim Square is at the end of it.
Where's the red light district?
I don't
I'm
know.
just wondering.
But anyways, so I hit up Cyrus,
Yeah.
and he came out to Istiklal to meet me.
Yeah.
I'm just wearing sweats and like a t-shirt. This guy comes on with like, mashallah, beard, a kufi, the whole
Like a
deal.
jubba.
Yeah, and people are like, "Assalamu alaikum, hoja, hojam," right? And but
To
it's
him?
like- yeah.
Yeah.
But it was weird because we were in like the most secular place, and he looks like
A sheikh.
an Ottoman.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're just sitting there, and it was a dope experience, mashallah.
Yeah,
he's a boss.
We had him on, Sheikh Amr and I, because he's talking about like hijrah to Turkey.
Yeah.
That's this whole thing now, and we were like, hey Sim, would you ever go to do hijrah?
Yeah, absolutely. But I would want to, be able to navigate the place decently, Like, as long as people in Turkey know a little bit of English, I'll be fine.
I don't think.
They don't. That's actually one of the things I love about them.
They hate English. They will get.
They hate any other language. Like they don't bend over, and I really appreciate that. Like you go to the airport and
Yeah.
you're like, English? They're like, no. Like Arabic? No.
Well, then I'm just gonna have
¿Hablas
to.
español? No. Turkish.
I'll marry a Turkish wife, and then
Yeah,
we'll make
that's
it,
the
we'll
way to
make it
do it,
work.
man. It's like, yo,
I want to move there, but yeah. seems like a
my
good
wife
place.
was actually looking at a property in Antalya. It's like a resort town.
You
Yeah.
can get citizenship if you invest in property that's $200,000, right?
That's dope, man.
250. Yeah. So
250.
But I think so. My company has operations in Istanbul. So that's my plan.
Ooh.
I'm trying to get an expat. That way, that's the way to do it because they pay for housing, all that stuff.
Yeah, but you want to get citizenship, dude.
Do
You
you
want
know?
to be able to live there.
Do you know Zia and Shanzada? I think
Nah.
I said
I don't know.
butchered his last name. I'm so sorry.
I don't know if you can hold dual passports. Can
I'm
you?
not sure if I want Turkish shit. Like as long as if I'm working there as an expat and I just like spend the next 20 years working there.
Yeah.
Well, like I don't think I'd want to live there forever.
Why not? Why do you don't want to die in Muslim land?
Nah.
What's the matter with you? Ish?
I mean, like I have to come back and watch Ohio State football games.
You can get that from satellite.
No, I'm gonna go to the stadium, bro.
Honestly, for me, it's a jiu-jitsu, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of that, where's the spot to go for jiu-jitsu? Turkey? Is Turkey good for that or?
jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the U.S. California.
Oh, okay.
California is the mecca of jiu-jitsu.
In the world.
Yeah. It surpassed Brazil.
Okay. So like really, so I don't know if you know Alexander One Antonio Cortez.
No.
He's a Muay Thai. He went to Thailand to go learn Muay Thai.
Yeah. Firas did too, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, he just spent his summers there.
So, but Muay Thai isn't your interest?
I mean, I do Muay Thai, but so I really wanted to get into Muay Thai competitively,
Yeah.
but I'm just really not convinced it's halal.
What?
Why?
Why not?
Like competition wise. I still train it.
competition-wise,
Yeah, no,
okay.
I train Muay Thai still till this day. I got a heavy bag in my basement,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, I do Muay Thai as like self defense.
What's your concern about it?
The striking to the face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, but here's the thing. Like, In training, I'll do light sparring to the face. That's fine.
Okay.
But I just don't think it's okay to just try to take someone's head off.
Is it more?
But what if you wear like a lot of headgear? Is that okay?
It could be actually worse. The headgear. It's like think about it like your you know those old American cars that don't have seatbelts.
Yeah.
That are like really hard. You know when a car crashes a wall, it compresses, it absorbs the shock. The old American cars didn't.
Yeah.
Like they were really tough. That's what like wearing headgear is. It'll protect you with the small little blows, but actually makes you more susceptible to a concussion because your brain's like bouncing around in your head.
Bro, I mean, it's not that much. I think you're over exaggerating the amount. I mean, if you're prone to concussions, then I wouldn't.
I've never had one. I don't know, but
I don't know. So I mean, I do Muay Thai when I did it when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I didn't experience a concussion, but I think the first time I did experience a concussion was my first fight, but that was before I got into Muay Thai. But I think everyone should know how to be able to take a punch and stay on your feet.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I think you should. I think everybody should light spar at least.
Yeah,
in the gym.
I think
in training, but competition's a different animal.
I understand the whole striking to the face halal haram thing in a different way. I think that is in a that hadith is meant for like in argument or in terms of conflict resolving. This is strictly for training where you're not necessarily even fighting for sport. I'm not even talking about. I'm saying for training.
If you're training, we're on the same page.
Yeah. So why would you?
Improving.
Yeah. So you're improving and you're training, and you're trying to become a better fighter, and you want to be good at that.
Yeah. No, I'll spar in training.
Yeah.
I just don't want to go in a ring and try to take somebody's head off.
Firas's argument is different, though. Firas says that in order to get to the best level of any type of discipline, you need to go into competition. And competition will be the only way the highest form of that art or expression will be on display to the world.
He also admitted it was haram, though. I don't know if you listened to that in the Q&A.
I don't know.
Somebody asked him, he was like, is MMA halal? And he was like, no, MMA is haram. And then he just kept going casually. It's like, yeah, but.
Yeah, so, but what I loved about Khabib, though, is that he showed that you can actually fight without making striking
like,
a big part.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I think if he really wanted to, he could have not even thrown any strikes in his fights. I think he could definitely just figure out a way to keep his strikes to the body and take him down. I think imagine Khabib, where he makes a rule for himself. I'm not going to hurt your face, but I'll strike your body in other places, and I'll still take it. I think he still would have won his last.
Bro, if your opponents study your tape, if your opponent sees that as a pattern, you're done.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But do you think he would have beat Justin Gaethje if he made that rule in his mind?
I don't think so. Because I think one of the things that really demoralized Justin was Khabib kneeing him in the face. Like Khabib was going total. He was pressuring him in the striking, and I think that really threw him off.
Yeah.
Because Justin is usually the pressure fighter, but Khabib is pressuring him around. He's just like, what the hell? I mean, this is on the feet. This is where I'm supposed to be better. What's going to happen when we get on the ground?
Yeah.
You saw when he got on the ground?
Yeah.
Forget all the jiu-jitsu. He like returned right to his wrestling instincts, right? Where give him your back, try to get on your knees so you don't get on your back. It's like literally the last thing you want to do in jiu-jitsu is give somebody your back. That's the absolute worst position you could ever be in.
Yeah. Get on the back is like when you're the one.
When somebody has your back.
Okay.
When they're wrapping, your back is again on their chest.
So jiu-jitsu is slightly different than wrestling when it comes. So in wrestling, a pin is like when you have somebody's shoulders to the ground.
Right.
In jiu-jitsu, there's several different kinds of pins. So the first pin is that in wrestling, right? When you're past their legs.
Right.
Okay? That's a pin. Another pin is knee on belly. So you're past their legs, you're holding them down, and you have one foot on the ground and one knee on their stomach. Knee on belly, right? And the third kind of pin is mount. So obviously you pass their legs, you're basically sitting on them, like past their leg. Your hips are past their hips. That's where it's important. And the last and the most dangerous pin is the rear mount. So where your chest is on their back. Right? So actually the way they're scored in competition, in jiu-jitsu competition, is very interesting. It's how feasible is it for you at that moment to successfully strike your opponent? So, for example, the knee on belly is not a very stable position in jiu-jitsu. You're on one leg. You get what I'm saying? But it gives you space to cock your arm back to strike. So you get 2 points for that in competition. Mount, it's 4 because you're past their hips. They got to do a lot to get out. You could just rain down bombs on them, right? And rear mount, I mean, if somebody knows what they're doing, you're good night.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up on 2 hours now, guys.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and Humam, why don't you tell the audience about how they can get in touch with your podcast, where is it available, and all that.
Yeah. What do you got coming up?
And what's the name of it?
It's called The Last Samurai Podcasts, and I'm aware how to spell samurai, right? It's a play on words because my last name is a samurai or an Arabic samurai, so The Last Samurai. Get it? Anyways.
Yeah. So how do you spell it though on the show on iTunes?
So The Last SAMARRAI. Right, just write that. I'm on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. I'm on all that. YouTube, I'm on YouTube as well. On Instagram, I'm at The Last Samurai Podcast.
I'm gonna type it into the chat.
Sure.
So
I'm on Facebook as well.
The Last SAM.
ASAMA.
No, there's no A. The Last Samurai. So
SAM.
SAM.
Okay.
ARRAI.
AA.
AI.
AI.
But that's not how your official last name is spelled.
No, that's how to spell the city of Samarra.
SAMARRAI.
Yes, exactly.
Hossam just jumped on.
What's up,
Assalamu alaikum,
Hossam?
Hossam. All right. Yeah. So
I got a guy named Rico Talley coming up. He's purple belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
and
looking
also,
forward to that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cage fighter at Street Beefs. If you don't know what Street Beefs is, it's really dope. There's this guy in the South, I don't know, it's like Oklahoma, Tennessee or whatever. There's a lot of violence in the city. So he just put a cage in the backyard, and everybody that had beef, instead of like shooting each other, is like, come just duke it out in the
We do that for
backyard.
Muslim Twitter.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, like have a place where we just like...
Actually, like Adam Saleh and like FusiTube fought, they're onto something, man, to be honest.
They did a physical fight?
Yeah.
Really?
Not Adam Saleh, Slim, his friend.
I got you.
He, like,
FusiTube's got like messed up brain.
Yeah, he broke up his nose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he broke his nose.
Fusitu, by the way, just went to Kenya with Muslims of the world.
Yeah, I
Did you
saw
see
that. It's good for him, man.
That was nice, yeah.
Good for him. I want to see him do good.
Yeah, I hope so, because I think he suffers from some mental issues.
Yeah, he said he has bipolar depression.
Yeah.
So Allah yashfi.
I mean,
But yeah, the guy I'm getting is the 155 champ at Street Beefs. He got the belt.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, before I knew who he was my referee at 2 different jiu-jitsu tournaments randomly. I didn't know this guy. And I uploaded a picture on Facebook, and one of my training partners, Ruben, tagged him.
Yeah.
Right? And he was like, yo, this is my boy. So yeah, that's how we got in touch.
Sweet.
yeah, he's in Hobart, Indiana. We're not too far from here.
Yeah, that's where he trains at Maxim Gym, Carlson Gracie. Really cool dude. So yeah, I'll be talking to him soon. Look out for that.
Cool. Well, Humal, thank you for joining us this Friday evening for our... actually, I want to give a quick shout out to some of my friends at RIS asked if I could give a quick little promo to the upcoming RIS convention coming on the 26th and 27th of December. I think it's got a very minimal registration fee that's around like $25, but and it's all virtual. They're good bros over there, and it would be behoove of you to support them and all the work that's going that's being done to produce this conference. Even though it's by Zoom or something, I don't know. It's some kind of video software that's presenting the conference. But check it out, 26th and 27th of December, the RIS conference. For my co-hosts, Mahin and Humam, my name is Sim. We'll see you all next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Assalamu alaikum.